day number 2 here at the Minto Cup in Brampton. The CAA Center is the host, and we've got our primetime matchup tonight, the Whitby Warriors and the Victoria Shamrocks. So far, Jonathan Donville, it is a perfect Minto Cup for Ontario.
Yeah, couldn't ask for better games, too. 2 overtime games yesterday.
Absolutely.
Another really tight one there. Might as well have been an overtime game. It's been as tight as possible. And obviously, Whitby won yesterday. Victoria lost. But this Victoria team, I think, is right there with all the teams in this tournament. Anything could happen today. Obviously, Ontario is still perfect right now, but this is a good Victoria team looking to break that.
Well, again, a loss in overtime. This is how Whitby won it, with an empty net goal against the Miners yesterday. The Miners dropping to 0-2 earlier this afternoon, in case you missed our game. Here's what Victoria had to do, and it was Kyle Pepper going down, and this injury, we thought it was head, but it's actually, look at the left arm, and this was him in practice. They're going to need a new drumman, and he's holding auditions, it looks like.
Yeah, this is a storyline, obviously, to watch. Whitby has a talented faceoff guy, Jack Oldman. Something to monitor, especially late game, end of clock situations when the faceoff becomes even more important.
He was actually teaching pretty much anybody who would listen what to do at the draw. And as you said, that's going to be a huge storyline, trying to get the ball to that Victoria Shamrocks offense, which does include Patrick Dodds, the only NLL runner. I think there's actually 2 of them in this tournament, but Dodds, a huge rookie campaign with Panthers LC. We're going to send it to a break. You're watching the Minto Cup here on the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League's YouTube channel and TSN Direct. Game number 2 of our second day comes your way next.
Welcome back inside the CAA Center for game number 2 on day number 2 of the Minto Cup. We have the Whitby Warriors taking on the BC champions, Victoria Shamrocks. And if there was any indication that teams were going to key on Brock Haley and be able to be successful, they were proven wrong yesterday. Potras with a huge night, 5 goals, including that empty netter. So the Victoria Shamrocks know that they have to watch every single player on the offense, and of course in transition as well. On the flip side, it was the righties who did all the damage for the Shamrocks, so a little bit of an imbalance here for the Shamrocks. We need to see the lefties come to life if they're going to be successful here and even up their record. For the goaltenders for tonight, we'll send it back up to the boys in the booth.
Thank you very much, Pat. That's Pat Gregoire, the Tom Borelli Award winner of the National Lacrosse League, down in the sweatbox. Ian Martin in between the pipes here, getting the start tonight after kind of a in-between performance last night for Whitby.
Yeah, very unusual for Whitby to be a favorite in the Minto Cup, an Ontario champion, and not have a #1 goalie. I really can't remember that ever happening. But they don't care who it is. They just want them to play well, and we'll see how it goes tonight. But they used 2 goalies. in the first game, used 2 goalies in their clinching game of the Ontario Finals. So clearly something that the coaching staff is comfortable doing.
Well, no surprise on the other side. You got to look at Adam Bland, and we are underway. The opening face-off goes the way of the Victoria Shamrocks. I'm Matthew Carrick, alongside the #1 pick of the NLL and the reigning Minto Cup MVP, Jonathan Donville, and as we said, Tom Borelli Award winner, Pat Gregoire downstairs, along with our JVI Sports Network crew here on the OJLL YouTube channel and TSN Direct. Martin makes the first save and quickly down the floor. This is Whitby in their red jerseys going right to left. They're not really a home or away bench here at the CAA Center. No changes, it looks like, from the Whitby lineup that took the floor last night. And with Kyle Pepper out, Jordy Neary, wearing number 24, slots in for the Shamrocks as they walk in and get a shot that hits off the outside crossbar. It's Trent DeChico, who returns to the Shamrocks after missing most of the BC playoffs, playing at the under 21 men's field lacrosse championships for Team Canada.
Yeah, speaking of Neary jumping into this game, if my research is right, plays at rugby at the University of Alberta, so a good athlete jumping in here for Victoria.
Well, we talked to a football player on the minors team last one. There's a number of multi-sports athletes here throughout this tournament. Of course, a number of hockey players. We're going to talk to Lucas Littlejohn at the first intermission. That's him passing the ball over to the far side, playing in his second national championship in about 4 months as he plays with the Pickering Panthers of the Ontario Junior Hockey League, part of the Centennial Cup, out in Saskatchewan to start this season.
Yeah, mentioned it on the broadcast last night, but Littlejohn, one of the most important players in this entire tournament, not just on the Warriors, a team that has Poitras and Haley, so much scoring at the top, but just adding that little bit of secondary scoring, as you're seeing right now, can play on defense as well, gets this team into a lot of good transition. He's as important as it gets here for the Warriors.
Well, here's 2 guys to keep your eye on the other side. Patrick Dodds and Casey Wilson working the 2-man game, and that was the key in their shoot-around practice this morning. If one of them gets locked off, what's going to be the play for the other guy? And keep your eye on Patrick Dodds and Casey Wilson, 66 and 77 on the strong right side for the Shamrocks. Haley, a strong righty over here. He has 74 regular season goals. Didn't even play all 20 games. Poitras getting absolutely beat up as he comes through the middle. Braden Lady had a very strong defensive game yesterday. Him and Granberg tag teaming that time. And this is a very rough and tumble Shamrocks defense that sent many a Beaches player to their backside in game #1 yesterday.
Yeah, you mentioned it with Wilson and Dodds being the focal point for Victoria. Dodds had an unbelievable year this year as a rookie for Panther City, 58 assists alone. But I think he needs to be a little bit more of a scorer here for his team.
Well, Shane Hallowell is a scorer for his team early on here as the Shamrocks open the scoring and lead 1-0.
Yeah, huge start here for Victoria yesterday with Wilson getting 4 of those goals. Really got all their production coming from the right side. Whether it's Hallowell, DeChico, or any of their other, or Sandberg, excuse me, on the left side. Left side production is huge for Victoria.
And that's Hallowell getting it there, and I know all these teams do their video research, but when you have a guy that comes out in game #1 and puts up a 4 spot, that gets all eyes on him. So it was very hard for Wilson to get any traction into that third period, and you can be sure that the Warriors are going to be keying in on double sevens in this game. Here's Haley again, out to the outside. That was Owen Tapper down in the corner. Bringing it across for Pfeiffer now. His shot past the screen of Oldman. And as these guys take the floor today, a lot more tape on the legs and a lot more compression socks being worn. As we're starting to get in the attrition part of this tournament. Already halfway through the round robin. after playing game number 3 earlier today.
Yeah, last night for Whitby, I think they kind of a game of up and down for them. At times they're doing the little things really well, had some really good loose ball plays, off ball play, that kind of thing, and at times I think they felt that it slipped. So the focus for them will just be consistency, especially with the little details throughout these 60 minutes.
Brock Haley bouncing around at the restraining line. Shot there from Littlejohn. Bit of a changeup that got in on Bland. We got some shoving on the far side, but a delayed penalty throughout most of that set will send the Shamrocks to the box. The first penalty of the game coming to Aido Solomon. Gives us a chance to go downstairs to Pat Gregoire for the first time.
Thanks so much, Matt. Yeah, you're hearing right now from the Whitby bench a lot of energy coming from Sean Williams and his support staff saying push, push, attack, attack. They are not settled with this settled offense, which is a team that loves to play 5-on-5. Of course, we're not going to see here with this power play, but certainly Whitby wants to establish the pace, which they're not doing right now, according to their head coach, Sean Williams.
Took 7 seconds for all 5 to touch it here. Haley, cross crease, they score. "14 seconds into the power play, and the Warriors have tied it at 1.
Yeah, great feed here by Haley. Victoria's sitting here in a diamond, and our viewers are going to get a nice look at this angle. The bottom guy for Victoria's got to get over to the left-handed crease. Just too much of a lane here, right through the seam, and a good finish. I believe Soroketti there on the finish. And he had quite a few of those exact looks yesterday. Couldn't get them to go, so that's got to feel good on the quick stick. Man, that guy's got a sweet release coming off those passes.
And as much as you noticed Littlejohn being the addition to that lineup, Soroketti just fits in so well.
100%.
All the attention, and rightfully so, on Pfeiffer, Potras, and Haley, but I mean, those two cannot be ignored when you're talking about the Whitby Warriors. 1-1 here, about 5 minutes into period number 1. Martin making the save. That rebound nearly bounced out of the crease, but picked up here by Peyton Wallace all the way down floor, and a shot there on the run. It is the captain, Adam Potras.
I think the most impressive thing about Potras, who's a guy who has so many things that are outstanding about his game, but he just manages to score in so many different situations. A little bit how people say, Dane Doby is always out, the best guy to come out the gate. It always seems like Potras is just out the gate, always gets breakaways, seems to be in on the goalie alone 4 to 5 times a game, just scores in all those middle situations outside of 5-on-5. You can certainly score 5-on-5 too, but a good play here, just playing through the possession, being quick out the gate and being very aggressive to the goal and getting one to go.
That bench admiring their work on the big video board here at center floor on the main pad at the CAA Center in Brampton. Former home of the Brampton Battalion, original Ontario Hockey League team. They then moved to North Bay. Brampton Thunder women's hockey team also called this place home, as did most recently the Brampton Beast. Michael White for Budway. Connection with Littlejohn and the Beast as well that he'll talk about in the intermission. Pfeiffer here for Littlejohn. I believe that coming up at the second intermission. Pfeiffer cross the restraining line over to the far side. In the first, we will talk to Pepper as here comes Littlejohn, the shot. And we filmed our interviews yesterday prior to game number 1 as teams are doing media and kind of walkthroughs for the first time on the turf. Shamrocks led by Hollowell. Lone goal scorer so far. Get it to the far side, and it is Dodds, captain, bringing it down, and that shot bounces off a defender and goes wide into the corner. However, Hollowell still there to pick up. Back to the far side, Wilson. He'll give to Dodds, who is wide open, who dives and scores. What a goal.
This is a great possession by Dodge. Exactly what I was saying. Needs to be a scorer, needs to be aggressive, looking for his own shot here. I like to take previous to this goal, gets to the middle, ends up missing the goal, but a good take getting to the goal. And then this is a pretty slick play here. by Wilson to get, just a nice little touch pass. And then does a great job, Maddie. How many times have I mentioned it this year, getting across the goal, increasing your angle. And when you're that big, you reach your stick out, it's moving a long distance. Yeah, that's basically an unstoppable shot for the goaltender who can't be in two places at once.
Patrick Dodds, at some point very soon, is going to line up with Randy Stotts and Jonathan Donville in a right-handed offense that sounds simply unfair. How excited are you?
Yeah, it's, I mean, what more can you say, right? Two outstanding players. Excited to be the rookie in that crew, and excited for Patrick Dodds to have his opportunity here in the Minto Cup again after he was a big part of the Victoria team in the 2019 one.
I think I could be on the right side of that offense and be Rookie of the Year, but Pat Gregoire, what say you?
I was just going to say, Jonathan, are you just trying to work on racking up the assists this year? That's why you're telling Patrick Dodds, hey, work on your shooting, be a shooter. I got to rack up the apples this year, right?
I think I'm just racking up fines for telling my veteran how he should be playing here.
About that outside shot. We've seen the outside shots from Whitby, and that one ringing off the face mask of Bland. How about this one from Haley, now hitting a defender, gets close to center and is knocked over, so no over and back as it was Neary. Again, slotting into the lineup in the absence of Kyle Pepper. Whitby have it back though. Haley for Pfeiffer, staring down three defenders, and you can see that the Shamrocks really locking off the floor late in that change and making sure that that pass couldn't get anywhere across to the right side of the floor. Here's a look in the window of the post play as Martin makes another save down to our right. Oldman in transition here for the Ontario champions. Tristan Dempers out to the outside. Oldman will shoot, and that's off Bland. Bouncing off the window. Played back to Patras. Littlejohn, far side. On the run here is Dempers. Down in the corner, Oldman. Littlejohn again. No Haley, Pfeiffer, or Patras. As Patras now runs off on that offensive set. He was the top shooter there, but the two big righties taking a shift off.
Yeah, it's something to watch for Whitby. When they're playing well offensively, the ball's switching the floor 2 or 3 times a possession. When they're not playing well, they tend to have a lot of 1-2 pass possessions. A team that likes to attack almost exclusively from the top of the house don't love to get the ball into the corners. So ball can get a little bit sticky sometimes. When it moves, the US offense is pretty.
And as good as Pfeiffer, Patras, and Haley are, Wilson, Dodds, and DeChico kind of match that, and then you look to guys like Noah Manning, who had a chance back down the other side of the floor for the Shamrocks. This loose ball just inside center, picked up by Haley. He'll go back into the corner. Pfeiffer back out there again. Knox is setting a screen, as is Haley. He'll shoot over top of both of them and find the end boards instead of the net. Soroketti.
Yeah, a couple nice plays by 24 Neary too. Some fresh legs getting inserted into this game. You know, not the worst thing to come in fresh. Everybody else has, played last night on a quick rest. He had the block shot a few minutes ago and some nice defense there. 24 has been solid here for Victoria.
Open look for Denton McDonald. Bounced one off the end window, and now Haley. Couple of hops. Down floor for Brock Haley, who draws a double team after passing to the far side. It is Patras, his hard shot into Adam Bland, and a chance to talk to him. Got some information from Teddy Jenner that he actually plays with 3 fused vertebrae in his neck, something that he's dealt with from birth, and says he just kind of knows no different. He's played lacrosse with that and lived his life as if nothing else is any different, and sort of shrugged it off and went, no, but dude, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, goalies are known for being crazy, but that's almost one step further. But credit to him, he was outstanding yesterday. Well, he's been fairly sharp here to start as well.
His credit, I mean, from birth, kid doesn't know what you don't know, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Here's Budway. Low shot from Knox, and he got drilled after the fact with Owen Russell coming in hot and heavy. Now Knox with another opportunity. He'll go over the top of Russell. Floor opens up for a bounce shot. And it comes in there on Bland, who will give off to Russell on the left-hand side, and both teams make their switches. Already halfway through this first period, tied 2-2 on game number 2 of day 2 of the Minto Cup. Ball moves to Mitchell Sandberg. He'll work around his screen. Sandberg has a lane, shoots, and the rebound nearly there for Dylan Johannes. Ball is loose. Where is it? Martin can't find it, and sees Dean the crease, and we get an 8 count there against Whitby. Man, that was all close to 4 count in the crease, an 8 count to get center, back in. All kinds of stuff happening there for the officiating crew, which is led by John Vandergiesen tonight. Dive play there from Dylan Johannes, Lane Hartung, and Brandon Hessen. The other 2 on-floor officials, with Riley Lowe, the standby, in the penalty box.
Pretty good offensive shift there from Victoria on the play before the loose ball. Sandberg, I think, was looking to feed a little bit too much, coming around the pick, looking to be a passer for Victoria. You got to get to the goal, get to the goal, get to the goal.
10 seconds left here in the, nearing 10 seconds rather, for the Whitby shot clock. Tristan Dempers to the outside. This is Owen Tapper. Soroketti spins around his screen up top, and Parker Pfeiffer will stop the over and back, but there's no time for a shot, which allows us to send it downstairs to Pat Gregoire.
There's not too many holes that you can find in this Whitby defense right now, but one thing Victoria is doing well is beating their man underneath. They're getting those looks, beat their man underneath, and driving them. That's exactly what Jonathan Donville just said that they need to do. That's something that they have to expose, kind of really exposing how aggressive that Whitby team plays on ball.
Little John reaches around to screen that shot. In on Bland, rebound nearly rolled there to, that's Budway, who would have had an open shot.
Yeah, and to Pat's point too, this Victoria offense is athletic enough to do it. This is a Whitby defense that's really leaned on teams throughout the Ontario Finals, use their athleticism. This Victoria team is just as big, just as fast offensively as Whitby is defensively. So look to them to keep using that to their advantage. Good take there by Sandberg, doing exactly that, getting after his man one-on-one.
Defenders lost a stick, and as Scott Reed tried to pick it up, it was knocked out of his hands again by Dodds, who's over in the corner. Wilson will set the screen, the shot off the end boards. It comes right back to Hollowell. Noah Manning. Big hit in front, and official has the arm high. Taken down there was Shane Hollowell. First penalty of the game coming here to Whitby, and you can hear perhaps Victoria Shamrocks fans want this to be a major penalty. John Vandergiesen says it's only 2 to Michael White for roughing.
Yeah, wasn't sure if this was going to get called. It looked like for a second this wasn't going to get called. I think this is the right call on the penalty. Just a pretty late hit here. Not sure. Yeah, we'll see it right here. This Victoria power play will go to work for the first time here.
I'm definitely okay with the no 5 there, and the ball about to arrive. And Michael White is a very aggressive and very physical defender, which will turn into a Victoria power play, and they score. It takes all of 14 seconds for Trent DeChico to get back on the board.
Yeah, Maddie, it seems like the diamond penalty kills are kind of the theme of the tournament here. We've seen all teams use them. We've seen the same thing here. It's just a double up pick. You'll see a lot of teams use this on the 4-on-3, but on the diamond it works as well, trying to pick both of the side guys basically and create a 2-on-1. And then a nice feed by Wilson, and a good finish. DeChico's not even really open here, but manages to get his hands free and a good catch and finish. Gets it to go.
And that will give the Shamrocks the lead. And it comes, as we said, on the power play. So 6 minutes left to go here in the first period. Haley from the outside, the screen sent by Pfeiffer. He'll back away now and wait for the pass that doesn't come from Haley. Goes all the way up top for Patras instead. He'll work past the screen. Pfeiffer now sets one for Patras from his wrong side of the shot. Stopped on the left knee by Bland.
What a great save by Bland there. We had a nice angle of that one from where we're sitting here in the CAA Center. That looked like it was going right to that bottom corner. Impressive shot from Patras on his, we say wrong side of the floor. For the top guys out here, there is no wrong side, as we mentioned.
Well, and no bad shots, as Pat Gregoire said yesterday, especially if you're Haley or some of those top guys. DeChico picked that out of midair. May have had more time than he thought as the shot goes high off the end glass. Brought down by Dodds. And Dodds spinning back out of the corner. Coming off the bench here is Casey Wilson. Dodds getting it back. Ball rolls through the legs but wide.
Yeah, that's really a great possession there by Dodds. A really tough loose ball in the corner. They don't get rewarded for it here, but those are plays that show up later in the game, working the defense later in the shot clock. Ends up getting a good look, again, being aggressive to the goal.
Big crease dive there and got contact in on Bland. But Patras just called for the crease violation.
Yeah, that's a play in the regular season might have caused a melee, but smart play by Victoria here. It looks like Bland's going to be okay, and they can't afford to be killing penalties here.
Come on, mate.
Hollowell gets it into the corner, spinning off over the top is Sandberg, and crease call there as down went White. The goal goal graphic goes on the video board as Martin is collecting all the pieces down in his crease. Helmet, gloves, and stick are now back on, and good thing too, because here comes Davis McCulley.
Loose ball there by Denton McDonald. He's a really interesting player, an important player. I'll finish that thought in a sec.
DeChico, the skip shot in on Martin.
He finished the regular season with 11 goals and 48 assists this year for Victoria. I had that as the most in the BC Junior A League throughout the regular season, taking on more of a defensive role here in the Minto Cup and throughout the playoffs. And the points are down a bit, but he is such an important player for the Shamrocks team, and one of many very impressive defensive players we've seen.
Noah Manning up top. Here's Little John. His shot caught Bland going down. That may have got the shoulder, either that or the crossbar. Either way, rebound on the floor. Owen Russell there to pick up. Russell on his wrong side finds the trailer in Manning. But Manning unable to bring it down, and it will be a loose ball here for the Warriors with 3.5 to go in the period. Little John wants to push. Little John got bowled over there after that pass went into the corner. And now he's coming back for a little more with Solomon picking up the Lucy.
Yeah, nice play by Solomon there to beat a couple guys out of the zone. Looked like he might have been trapped. Moves his feet well and gets his team possession in the offensive zone.
Dodds getting this one started from the restraining line. DeChico goes down awkwardly and looks to be okay as he's going to gain his footing. And Dodds now posturing up with this ball bouncing on a bit of a panic play to stop the over and back from Johannes. DeChico's going to regain possession, taking on 4 Whitby Warriors players. Dodds, they heard footsteps, got it away quickly to Wilson. And this Shamrocks offense back to work, but they get the ball taken away with Brody Wade driving through his defender.
Yeah, really physical loose ball plays here. That was one where Whitby probably was better off just letting the ball stay on the ground instead of picking it up. Ended up catching a break with Victoria turning it over soon after, but a missed opportunity there for the Shamrocks.
Parker Pfeiffer, a number of spin moves, actually was trying to give to Riley Knox there, but ball on the carpet. Soracchetti will find Budway, who sends it off the end glass. Long shot from Soracchetti. That was diving, and Adam Bland there to cover up in his crease as we hit the 2-minute warning here in our first period. Manning gets buried, trying to go through the middle. Shot here from Sandberg. Warriors will pick it out of the crease, and they want to hurry pressure, led by Oldman. Oldman spins back for Brock Haley.
More nice, yeah, sorry.
Team chases him in the corner. Sorry, go ahead.
More nice defense there from 24 Neary. Had Oldman in a lot of space with no help. Handled up pretty well. with Oldman kind of building up steam the whole way. Ended up held them up long enough for his teammates to come support, and a nice defensive possession there for Victoria.
Big takedown there and a hard landing for Solomon, who gets up slowly as a high pass from Ben McDonnell hits off the glass. Solomon just now getting back onto the bench and getting checked by Charlotte Michaels, the trainer of this Shamrocks team. We are in the final minute. Both teams have 2 timeouts that they can use throughout the game, 1 per period. As Martin will hang on to that shot.
Looks like Whitby's going to try to go quick here.
Yeah, Williams.
Expect a shot in the next 2 or 3 seconds here.
Definitely wanting to push pressure, and as you say, the smartest guy in the room at all times.
Yeah.
Scott Reed agreed with you, whether it was for floor time or not. Botras, Piper, around Budway, back to the far side, Soroketti. Shamrocks, by the way, did a good job of snuffing out that last shot attempt for the Warriors, and
yeah, really nice play.
I don't know if they were actually trying to call timeout there. The bench wasn't signaling it, but I think someone on the floor may have called timeout here for the Victoria Shamrocks.
Really nice play there by Braden Lady, 53 on Victoria. One thing that Whitby does so well is I'm not sure what the right word is, but the spin picks around the top of the house where the ball carrier will look like they're going down the alley, and then will immediately turn around and come back over top. And the on-ball defender really in those situations just has to bail out for Victoria and switch. Lady recognized it there, got out of there, made sure he didn't get picked off, and Victoria really handled that 2-man game well.
Well, here's some of the action here on the Victoria Shamrocks offense. Down between the benches here. Oh, that's the one that nearly snuck through Caleb Martin. Pat, you're right between the benches here in this timeout. What did you see on that play, and what do you expect here for the final shot?
Well, to be quite honest, with the view that I have down here, best seat in the house, but when it came to that goal, could not see a thing. So I think you guys had the better look. But again, this dynamic offense, you always think it's the righties, they're going to drive. But the way that the lefties have been playing, I would not be surprised if they chalk something up here to a guy like DeChico.
Well, let's see DeChico right along the near glass right now. Ball in the stick of Manning. He'll put it in the corner for Dodds. Here's DeChico. Play is on. Low shot from Manning. Gets through to Martin. Trickling again. And he'll fall over backwards. Still 1 second. A bomb down the floor. Just wide and just late. And it will be a 3-2 first period in favor of the Victoria Shamrocks.
Yeah, love the play design there from Victoria. Get Manning coming over. Goes to the low to high shot. Not many guys can pull that off, but he almost picked that corner.
1 period in the books here. The Shamrocks needing a win, trying to break the streak of the Ontario teams so far here at the 2022 Minto Cup. Coming to your way live from the CAA Center in Brampton here on the OJLL YouTube channel and TSN Direct. We'll be right back.
On our family dairy farm, there's a saying that the sun doesn't start the day, we do. It's our daily reminder to be our best, make our best, and that our dairy farm doesn't just take care of our family, it's part of something bigger. That's dairy done right.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Gatorade.
The Minto Cup is awarded annually to the Canadian Men's Box Junior Champions of Canada. But did you also know that the Minto Cup is one of the oldest trophies in the history of Canadian sports? The Minto Cup was originally donated in 1901 by the 4th Earl of Minto. The championship was restricted to amateur athletes, but soon enough, under-the-table professional teams were making their run for the cup. There were countless efforts to restrict the Minto Cup to only amateur athletes, but after 1904, this cup was up for grabs for all who chose to compete for it. They then decided that in 1910, the Man Cup would be given to the champions of the Amateur League, and the Minto would still be awarded to the winners of the Professional League. Finally, in 1924, when the Coast Professional League folded, the Minto Cup was placed into storage. After 12 long years of inactivity, the Canadian Lacrosse Association decided to revive the Minto Cup Championship, but this time award it to the Junior Champions of Canada. However, they did face a hurdle, as they could not find where the Minto Cup trophy was kept. So stay tuned for more on the history of the Minto Cup.
Lucas Littlejohn, the Whitby Warriors Junior Lacrosse Club. Going out to Saskatchewan there for hockey, and then getting back a day later and starting the lacrosse season. It was a lot at first, but once I settled into the lacrosse season, it just kind of came as natural. Just kind of play the game you love and just kind of go with it. But then, being in your second national championship in 4 months, it's been a lot, and we're just trying to soak it all in. Getting ready mentally to prepare for these big games, it goes a long way. Being through it once before, it's just when you get into those big, high tense situations in the game, it just helps you to stay calm and just play your game. Obviously, a lot of lacrosse over the next few days here. You just got to kind of drink water, get lots of food in you, get some rest. Watch over the game, kind of go through what you guys did right, did wrong, and kind of pick your spots and make some changes as you go. And it's just biggest thing is hydration, rest, and just get ready for the next one. My dad played here for a couple years with the Beast, no stranger to this building, that's for sure. It's just pretty cool. Obviously, with us being the number one seed in the Ontario side, as we're hosting, we get the Beast room too. So, being in there before and then walking in here for a national championship, it's pretty cool. It's extra special for sure. I was always down in the locker room, helping out with the stick guy, doing things around the room, and obviously seeing my dad in there as I was doing that, it was pretty cool for sure. Earlier in the season, they kind of threw me back as a transition player to kind of help out on both ends of the ball, and then I started to find my groove later ends in the season on offense, and then they stuck me up, and I've been offense ever since. So just kind of having that swagger, having that confidence, that when you get the ball, just capitalize on your opportunities, and I think I've done a pretty good job so far.
Welcome back inside the CAA Center, where the Victoria Shamrocks hold a 3-2 lead over the Whitby Warriors. And Jonathan Donville brought up a great point. Denton McDonald comes into this game as playing a more defensive game, but he actually said to his coaching staff this year that he wanted to play a transition two-way role. He felt that his skill was allowing him to push the ball and have the most success. But when he does have to play some defense or has to play some that's where he is most effective. And at some points in this game here, the offense has gone a little dry for the Victoria Shamrocks, so expect to see a little more transition, especially with this long change. Coming up now, we're going to take a look at the highlights of how we got here at 3-2. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Pat Gregoire. We're back upstairs. Matthew Carrick alongside Jonathan Donville in a 3-2 first period for the Shamrocks. Started by Shane Hollowell, and then Whitby got to work, scoring a couple. That's the power play marker that came from the far side from Soroketti. And then Patras in transition, as he's done so many times this year. How about that goal from current Panther LC player Patrick Dodds?
Yeah, pretty good period there for Victoria. Definitely a slower pace, I'd say, than anything yesterday. Not obviously a surprise second game in 2 nights of these teams settling in. I think if you're Victoria, you got to keep being stout and defensive transition, get the ball to 5-on-5 where they're having some good success. And then if you're offensively for Victoria, just stay aggressive, keep trying to get to the goal, use Whitby's aggressiveness against them.
There goes Pat Gregoire. He made it. The flash. With 10 seconds to spare. Attaboy. Pat Gregoire. Hydration is very important in a tournament like the Minto Cup.
Hey, come to the Minto Cup. We'll sell you the whole seat. You'll only need the edge, man. You'll only need the edge.
Brought to you by Gatorade and the Dairy Farmers of Ontario and their #MilkUp campaign. I've never thought of mixing milk and Gatorade before, but they've done a good job coming in and supporting this national championship. This is day number 2. We've got a big schedule coming up for you tomorrow as well on moving day, as the Edmonton Miners will get things started against the Victoria Shamrocks at 5 p.m. And then our nightcap tomorrow, the Toronto Peaches and the Whitby Warriors, a rematch of the Ontario Finals. And again, first place in the bye to the final series on the line. But first, second period action from here in game number 2, Shamrocks and Whitby Warriors is underway. Jack Oldman taking the face out there, and it looked like Caden Granberg stepping in to take that face off. Patras, he's gonna go straight to the rack. Got it off Bland and then tangled up in the corner. And a couple factors of interference I think you could call there with Whitby players hitting the deck. They get the ball. As a result, long range shot here from Haley. And Bland obviously now down into the net to our right-hand side. Victoria Shamrocks going right to left here in period number 2.
Yeah, and who other than Denton McDonald picking up the loose ball there on cue. Fred Patty picking up the loose ball, getting it up the floor quickly. He is such an effective player in all situations for Victoria.
Dodds, here comes Wilson. He'll get it back to Dodds. One-on-one there. Soroketti went for the stick check. Found nothing but air, and Dodds finds nothing but net.
When Patty was talking in the first period about how Whitby was getting underneath, the reason that's so effective is because there's nobody to help. If you get beat underneath as a defender, they're always telling, defense coaches are always saying, don't get beat underneath because we can't help you. And Dodds kind of dusts his defender here, gets to run just a nice fake, honestly, and there's nobody to help. He doesn't get there in time, does a nice job again, getting to the goal. Just a little bit over-aggressive from Soroketti. Makes sense. Offensive guy stuck back on. It's a good time for Dodds to go. A little bit over-aggressive, gets to the goal and finishes it.
So 4-2 the lead now for the Shamrocks as they go around again. Face-off rolls out to Jake Darlison. He'll go far side and they score in transition. And I believe that is Lucas Littlejohn, our first period feature. And Pat Gregoire take us through the goal.
This is something that we just quite haven't seen from the Warriors, is the transition offense. There have been times, and I know it is crazy to think, but during their playoff run in the Ontario Championship, the offense would go dry a little bit. It would be a little bit stagnant, but it was these big-time transition players that would come up with big plays, and that's exactly what it is. Lucas Littlejohn, again, a guy that we just knew was going to have a big tournament.
The building where his father once played. He hung out in the dressing room, as he said, of the Brampton Beast, the dressing room that is now home to the Whitby Warriors for this week. They've turned it into Minto Court. Number of game balls up in there, the Iroquois Trophy as well, the championship banner. They're all decked out as this ball is down and kind of hit there, falling backwards was Braden Lady as ball comes back for White. By the way, apologies to the family of Ado Solomon. That has been corrected here in arena. Pat Gregoire was correct all along, as he normally is. Our mistake and our apologies to him and the family. Ball coming back on the near side. Big fake from Haley, he'll take it and score, and just like that, the score is tied.
Yeah, I love the move here by Haley. Nice little toe drag. He's had a couple good looks here in the second period, maybe settled a little bit, shooting from a little far out. It's basically just a 1-2. He's either going to shoot it or he's going to pull this toe drag. And I guess more of a face dodge than a toe drag, but still pretty slick move. We've seen him score that exact play going back to the Ontario playoffs a number of times. It really, his shot sets everything else up for him, and that's the kind of the primary secondary, or the secondary move for him, is faking the shot and getting to the goal.
Yeah, and if you're Griffin Hall, I mean, what do you do? Because, I mean, if you stand back, he's going to rip one around you, and if you go and bite on it, he's going to do exactly what he just did. As Patrick Dodds gets it back. Go around the screen here from Manning. Dodds trying to find it back in the corner for Manning. 10 on the shot clock. Taken out of the corner to Chico. Late arrival on that far side. Out of the corner. He comes back across the floor for Manning. Ball rolling. Where is it? Under Martin. And as the Warriors pick it up, Pat Gregoire has a comment on the Whitby offense.
Something that we didn't see from Brock Haley was him attacking the net. Hearing Sean Williams and his staff talking on the bench at the end of the first period, he said you could tell Haley was a bit frustrated. And you could tell that he was just settling for those outside shots, which normally for him sink, but they weren't. And instead, this period we're seeing him drive the net, and that is the type of player he is. Yes, he can shoot the ball, but he's so dynamic and so athletic.
Shot from long range there, as Pat was talking about it. Littlejohn was on the crease, but the ball never rolled away from Bland. Down in the window, you see what happened last time the Shamrocks were down the floor with that ball rolling towards, but in the eyes of the official, not over the line. They'll try again here, flipping the pass through to Brody Wade.
Go, Scotty!
Pretty slick little pass there by Wilson. Didn't get it to connect. But a nice play by Wilson. He's just an impressive player. Big, strong, fast, and super skilled.
Yes, sorry, Johnny. Taking the ball there away from Scott Reed. Jake Doolittle had to hurry. That allowed Denton McDonald to get the turnover. Manning, he'll take it straight through the middle. The shot there. Martin will make the save. Rebound picked up with the Shamrocks, though, and they'll get a fresh 30. Patrick Dodds outside. Puts it behind the net. Over on the far side, it's Matt Atkinson rolling through. Manning, low shot, Martin to save again, and a rebound hung on to here by Doolittle. Bit of a hobble in his step, it looks like, as tried to give it here to the Warriors as they break center.
Yeah, Manning super aggressive on those last few possessions. I think that's a good sign for Victoria, who could use a goal or two from him. Some really good shots there. Couldn't get the one to fall, but good looks for him. I like that he's staying aggressive.
Low shot from Parker Pfeiffer. That Bland sent away and lowering the shoulder and the boom heads up Patty as Jordy Neary comes over to say hi. 2-on-1 back the other way for the Warriors though as they steal it back. Haley had thoughts of a low shot but now turns out with 20 on the shot clock. Budway will set the screen. Littlejohn was cutting through. No pass. They come across to Soroketti. In front of him, a screen from Darlison, who was open through the middle. Shot came from Littlejohn across floor, and now Soroketti again took a high hit, and all three officials have their arms high, which pretty much means that this is going to be a non-disputed call.
Yeah, we'll see Cameron Lum go into the box here. I thought Soroketti might have been falling a bit on his own before the check, but definitely kind of finishes him through the ground. Looks like Beach is going to, or Victoria, excuse me, is going to stick with this diamond here. So look for the cross crease passes, cross seam, and look for the low guys here to be creators.
British Columbia's got some nice beaches. I knew where you were going. End of summer here. Unfortunately, of course, you could just pull what the miners do and just go to school down south.
Great stick there by Denton McDonald to get in the lane. That's the same lane they scored their first one on. Gets back, takes away that cross crease pass. That's a nice job there in the diamond.
A few groans looking for a Michael White delay of game penalty that will not come from the officials. As we've played 6 minutes here in the period. Minute 20 left to go in the penalty. Wilson will keep it up high, perhaps try and rag it out. Dodds will work through into the corner. Now gets the pass. Go all the way back up top to DeChico from the restraining line. How about a shorty for the lead?
This is one that Martin probably wants back, and can guarantee you DeChico doesn't care. Just trying to get one on net here from pretty far out. Does a nice job shooting through the screen. Obviously not one that's going to go in too often, but put the ball on net and good things will happen.
Can't remember, did we know that Shipping Up to Boston was their goal song? I didn't hear it that much yesterday. I do love the low tone goal horn. But of course, each team got a custom goal horn, got to pick their goal song coming into the tournament as well.
One of many nice little touches here at the Minto Cup. You see all the banners on the boards and around the arena. It really feels like a national championship here, and the custom goal songs is a cool touch.
Warriors quickly back to the crease. Soroketti a little too tight to it in the eyes of the ref as Littlejohn got the first shot.
Patty, you mentioned his name a bunch yesterday, but Owen Russell for Victoria is just a tough defender, and Littlejohn paid the price there for trying to get to the middle.
Manning outside. Dodds is setting a screen in front. Excuse me, that's Wilson who now circles back away, and that forced Manning to collide with a double team. He'll shake Carter's shot. We slammed to the brakes. Now Ben McDonnell will take up the charge.
Manning really starting to find his footing here. He's been really sharp here for the last 5-6 minutes.
Strong game from Noah Manning, number 7 for the Shamrocks. We got him just for 1 assist, but that Rag team killing off the end of the penalty, and it gets them halfway through their shot clock with DeChico taking the spot of the extra attacker. Or the penalized player, excuse me. Jake Darlison stealing it away from Manning. However, he'll come in transition and score with a shot around a defender, and we're tied yet again.
Darlington seems like one of the guys who just gets this team a play when they need one. We've seen that a bunch in Ontario. They have a few guys, Whitby does, who can kind of do the things that Darlington does, but he might be the best at it. Just so quick getting up the floor, really tough in transition. He had a really nice play on the last Little John goal to create that and get the assist, and here he just does it himself. If you're Victoria, you got to get out. You got to play the ball. You can't let guys walk in. If you're, on a traditional floor, if your heels are on the dotted line, you're guarding nobody. That's kind of what happened there.
Patty, I know you're a big fan of Jake Darlison. You said that throughout the Ontario finals. Your take on his play there?
That is just a peak Jake Darlison goal. We talked about it, and I said, buy stock in Jake Darlison as you can, but it's too late. I have all the stock. There's no more left.
That's a monopoly, and it's not allowed here, I believe.
Insider trading, perhaps? I don't know.
Down in the corner, Dodds will work it again. Already with 4 points for Dodds and for Wilson each. Quad assists here for double 7, trying to get himself in the goal column of the ledger, but Caleb Martin says no way.
Yeah, nice touch pass there by Dodds off the loose ball, though. Doesn't even really pick it up. Just kind of hockeys it over to Wilson. They get a good look out of it.
And this Whitby offense back to work again. These jerseys, see them there cutting through, and Riley Knox had it go off the post, but then he went into the crease.
Should be numbers here for Victoria.
Peyton Wallace will talk to tomorrow in our feature, actually helping design the new jerseys for this team. Defender here for the Warriors.
Another great play there by Darlison. That's what Whitby wants to do early in the shot clock, especially force some defenders into double teams, get the ball back, turn up the tempo of this game.
Double team over on the far side against Whitby that time. Ball will roll for Patras. His shot bounces just wide of the net. And here come the forces right near center, right in that, what is the Toronto Rock logo. And a big scrum in that face-off circle. Officials say it was batted over by the Shamrocks before Jack Oldman dumped it all the way back down floor. And look out, here they come again. This is Oldman in transition, looking for the stick check and getting it. What a play from Cameron Lum, providing the assist on the save from Bland.
Yeah, you called it there. Lum made up probably 3 to 4 feet there. And of course, the run just a hustle play. Again, not going to show up in the scoreboard. And obviously, still got a good shot off, but made his life a lot tougher there.
High step from the far side. That's Haley, the shot. And it bounces off Bland, but comes straight out to McDonald, and the race is on here with looked like numbers for the Shamrocks, but only briefly, with the Warriors defense catching up. Lady. Outside wall there for Hallowell. Starting and stopping along the restraining line was Sandberg. And Johannes will overrun it, go to the bench, and all alone on the crease again. He's Patrick Dodds. I don't understand.
Yeah, just got himself lost behind the play there. Nice save by Martin in the goal to keep that one out, because Victoria's best player one-on-0 on the goalie with more than enough time.
There's the play down in the window. And this is about 3 or 4 times today. Guy who very well could be up for Rookie of the Year in the National Lacrosse League.
Yeah, in a normal year too, might have won it without that guy Jeffrey playing in New York, but an outstanding season, and then going back and playing junior after that, it's got to be a cool experience.
Jeff Teed, of course, Brampton Excelsior. Darlison runs in and puts it past Bland.
Well, Patty's pockets are just getting fatter and fatter here, making money. He's doing the Johnny football here on the sidelines, but I mean, this has been the period of Darlison. 2 goals now and an assist for a D guy in 1 period. Just, basically an identical goal. More of a 2-on-1 here, so the defender kind of had to stay back, but you got to get to Darlison. He's going to rip it. Not an easy shot, fading to your right to leave that shot along the left pipe of the goal. Really tough, but a really disciplined shot as well. He's a defensive player, but Darlison knows what he's doing when he's in tight on the goal.
This offense for Whitby, we talk about it all the time. Adam Patras, Parker Pfeiffer, Brock Haley, 6 goals tonight. That trio only has 2. Jake Darlison is matching the pair of 100-point getters in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. They try and go back across to Haley again. That was interrupted, but Little John will keep the possession alive. He goes to Haley. Patras wants it, gets it. Out in front and tied up there was Owen Tapper. Couldn't bring the pass down in numbers here perhaps again for the Shamrocks, but Chico looked gassed coming up on that rush. He'll stay on the floor, however. Out of the corner, coming off the bench, a huge bouncer that sails up into the safety netting from Mitch Sandberg.
Yeah, and if you're Victoria, you got to think about leaving some of your offensive players, especially your righties. You got to think about just telling them to go back and play defense. This has kind of been the big weakness for Victoria here throughout the first couple games of this tournament is transition defense, and now at least probably 4 goals by Whitby in transition. If you're a right-handed player here, you got to think about just getting back in and playing a little bit of defense, or playing some of your right-handed transition players more on offense with the idea of them getting back.
Brandberg over center, near boards is Wilson. One-handed pickup there from Manning this time. He'll sail it to the far side. Dodds in the corner. That time they had him well covered, and it was Jake Doolittle, the defender. White.
Nice idea there from Victoria. Just telegraphed it a little bit. Their passes right now a little bit too long. You just shorten them up. Be a little bit tighter offensively. Get the ball moving a little bit more. A lot of short possessions here for Victoria.
Here's Soroketti. Patras in front of him looking to throw a screen. That pass probably would have gone errant had it not hit the official. Late in the shot clock, however, trying the dunk attempt. That's Parker Pfeiffer, the walking highlight reel. Brody Wade rolls away from him. Peyton Wallace will pick it up on a 2-on-1 here for Whitby. You see that Pfeiffer chance again down in the window.
To be clear, that last chance for Whitby, the dunk attempt would not have counted, but it still looks pretty cool. It's good for our broadcast. So, so shout out to the Warriors for that, even though that would not have counted.
Look out here, the pass from Patras off the body of Matt Atkinson, and Bland, right place, right time to make that save. Dodds for Manning across center. 6 minutes remaining here in the second period. 6-5 for Whitby. Ball gets away from, Wilson. Manning will take the shot, and then Martin dives forward to cover up. Darlison over center. He'll slow things down, just waiting, allowing Soroketti to make space on the near side. They pass it to the far one, and Knox filled in, the ball loose and down. Big hit from Atkinson again, and Lady, the beneficiary, who picks up the loose ball and carries it into offensive territory. But look out, DeChico unawares that Ben McDonnell was right at his heels.
Yeah, again, very stout defense from Victoria. When they get the ball to 5-on-5, they're outstanding.
Again, very physical Shamrocks defense that was in the face of the Beaches all day last night. This cross floor pass picked off by Oldman again. Oldman will go to the outside boards. Haley for Soroketti. Over the top is Patras, shoots on the run off the backboards, and Soroketti down to a knee, still with it, and all over him towards the crease was Russell.
Yeah, what a play there by Russell. Just outstanding defense. Russell, a guy who played for Victoria in the 2019 Minto Cup, one of, I think, 6 or 7 players who were on that team. Victoria has something nobody else in this tournament has, obviously, and that's Minto Cup experience.
I'm going to watch this game back and count every time we've said, what a play by insert Shamrocks defender here, because it wasn't myself, it was you, or it was Pat Gregoire down in between the benches. Owen Tapper now, cross center here for Whitby.
Nice play there. Won't show up again, but Noah Manning getting back enough to slow up the break. Gets his defender some time. That's going to be something to watch, something they need to do more of.
Flip pass back there for Jack Budway. That sort of second line offense, if you will. Taking a shift out here for Whitby. Running down the near boards is Armstrong. Wilson, cross floor. Back down again, cutting back. I believe that's Sandberg again. Hard shot from Manning. And again, just one of those players that, you know, we don't necessarily have anybody that we're cheering for, but if Manning pots one here, it's going to put a smile on a lot of people's faces, because the game that he is having is tremendous so far, if not
you get
anything showing up on the score sheet. Sorry.
A guy of his pedigree just came back from playing with Canada.
Oh!
You get the sense that once he gets one of them to go, the floodgates will be open. Has another good opportunity there.
Speaking of floodgates opening here, look, the pile up in front of Martin. He's seen enough white jerseys in his face today and took exception, which then caused the rest of the Warriors to do the same. And it started with Manning as we were speaking about him.
It doesn't look like there's going to be any penalties come out of this. It's going to stay 5-on-5.
Under 3 to play here in the period. A 1-goal lead for the Warriors. Haley turns and fires. And tripped up there was Shamrocks forward, and the Soroketti touches it. We will get the tripping call and a power play for Victoria with a chance to tie things up.
Yeah, tough break here for Pfeiffer. Obviously, you never want to take a penalty 190 feet from your own goal. That's just a bad luck play, though. He's fighting hard for the loose ball, ends up with the trip. I think that's a good call, even though it obviously wasn't intentional. And this is, for Victoria, been a bit of a drought here now offensively. Their power play has been really good so far. This is a big moment going into the intermission.
Yeah, here's a look at the tripping call. Just kind of missed the over-the-top stick check and got tied up in the feet of the ball carrier. So Parker Pfeiffer goes off. Dodds will work through the middle of the power play set. The ball goes to the far side, and a shot from Sandberg off of Martin.
Yeah, interesting look there. Victoria went to a box-and-1 offense against a diamond defense. Almost 3 Whitby players higher than Victoria players. End up getting a decent look there, but interesting tactical decisions going on for both teams right now.
Tristan Dempers one-on-one near side. Now will draw the double team as he collides to the crease. He'll take on 3 Shamrocks defenders. Ball pops out of the stick of Dempers. And he's going to take the entire shot clock on the rag team, and that's got the sticks out off to the left of Pat Gregoire. Go ahead, Patty.
Yeah, this penalty kill here for Whitby, I think they're going to take a similar approach what we saw with the Beaches, sometimes going with the diamond, sometimes going back to the box. At least that's what we're hearing on the bench here. So be aware, looking them, throwing different looks, not just sticking with the box, what we're seeing from Victoria.
They are halfway through that power play with a minute and a half to go in the period.
Yeah, definitely looks like.
So far 3 high for Whitby and 1 on the crease.
Whitby's basically just leaving Sandberg here. What a save that is.
Nearly bit them, but Martin there to bail out the power play. And back down the floor, ball rolling away from Owen Tapper, who tried to pick it up.
I think if you're Sandberg, you got to really call the bluff here. You got to really get across the goal. They're basically daring him to shoot. He's taking good shots. I mean, he got robbed there and hit a pipe. Back to a box here now.
Almost looks like this is trying to prevent a cutter. As soon as there's any time of motion, they come away from the box. Now the Diamond in the final minute. Power play has expired. Dodds, low shot, scores.
This is a weird game, man. Victoria had probably 5 or 6 grade A chances. I really don't think the Diamond worked that well there, giving up chance again, right on the crease. And then the penalty expires and Dodds just pulls up from 25 feet out. I mean, I said he's going to be a scorer.
I wish we had the spy
He's been lighting it up.
On your reaction. Just arms in the air, look sky, like, come on.
I mean, that's a great angle. What an angle for our viewers there. What a shot. Nice little low-to-low worm burner. Martin must have been exhausted after that power play, just getting a lot of, in tight shots, fought off most of them, then just kind of let his guard down maybe for a second, and Dodds buries it.
Dodds is that good, completing the hat trick tonight, a 5-point effort coming at the tail end of the power play. Not officially a power play goal, but as Jack Budway controls the face-off, timeout is called here. Ticking down here in the second period in a 6-6 tie.
We'll see if Whitby goes with their big scores here, Lucas Littlejohn and Jake Darlison here. Or if they obviously, just kidding, they're going with, Haley and Poitras would be the first two obvious ones.
Here's Dodds again, and Pat Gregoire, he's up for Rookie of the Year for a reason. This right. Let go. Go ahead, Patty.
I mean, that is just a ridiculous shot from a ridiculous player, Patrick Dodds. Donnie, I can just smell your bank account growing right now. The fact that you're just going to have to give that guy the ball and he's going to put it in the net. Pretty easy. It's a simple game.
Hey, pass, shoot, score, right, Patty?
Pass, shoot, score. Back to you guys.
I look off to the right, and not only is the bank account growing, they smile on the face of Steve Toll right now.
Yeah.
Guy who yesterday was double fisting bags of popcorn. I don't know if we're allowed to say that on air or not, but final 30 seconds here. Ball in the stick of the Warriors. They do have the extra attacker on. Looking for the lead here in the final shot. Shot clock, non-factor. Parker Pfeiffer keeping it up top. Demper's on his right. Down the wall, far side is Haley and Littlejohn in the corner. Here comes the play, working it down to Poitras. Out in front of the net is Sorokenia. It's a low shot from Poitras, and Bland got a rebound. Another shot and another save from Bland, and he'll keep it tied after 2.
Yeah, Bland's fired up, and he should be. Well, a couple of big saves there. We've seen Pfeiffer score in all situations too. Gets a nice rebound. Looks like he shot a pretty good shot to the bottom left there, and just 2 big saves by Bland. Like the play design from Coach Williams. Pretty simple, just a down seal by Dempers. Poitras comes around. That's a pretty good look on a 6-on-5. You'll take that.
Both teams made it to overtime yesterday in day number 1. This is game number 2. Day number 2. Do we have some free lacrosse in store here in this one as well? We'll have to wait and find out. The final 20 minutes comes your way next. You're watching the 2022 Minto Cup on the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League YouTube channel and TSN Direct.
On our family dairy farm, there's a saying that the sun doesn't start the day, we do. It's our daily reminder to be our best, make our best. And that our dairy farm doesn't just take care of our family, it's part of something bigger. That's dairy done right.
Gatorade. with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Gatorade.
The Minto Cup went missing when Charlie Welsh, the last remaining Minto Cup trustee, suddenly passed away on February 25th, 1938. Aside from not knowing where the actual trophy was hidden, the CLA did not have the legal right to hand out the award to the next season's winner. And unfortunately, Mr. Welsh's wife died just an hour after him, so the line of succession was lost. The CLA had to write a letter to the Lord of Minto in Scotland in order to get legal rights to hand out the trophy. Now that the legal side of the competition was sorted out, the more critical question of where was the cup needed to be resolved. After 7 months of searching, they were finally able to revive the trophy that was hidden in a desk in Charlie Welsh's Harbour Commission office. Finally, in 1940, the trophy was sent to Montreal to be refurbished, and years later, here we are, competing for that same Minto Cup trophy. I'm Mackie Jenner, and that's the history of the Minto Cup.
Kyle Pepper transitioned Victoria Junior Shamrocks. I think we're all itching to get out there. We got a little bit of a taste last year. Wasn't quite the same knowing we didn't have that Minto to chase, but I think we're all really eager this year, and it's really helped us stay strong as a group. All left a little bit of sour taste in the guys that were there mouth. I think we had around 8 or 10 guys returning, so I think we're all pretty hungry for this one. Blando, just from game one, he's been a rock for us, bailing us out game after game. Definitely on the defensive side, a little more confidence in us. Just really helps having a goaltender like that in net. I was surrounded by lacrosse from such a young age, and we used to build a bunch of senior players, so being surrounded by some of the best players in the world really I think inspired me to pick up a stick. It's a battle. You look at the team they had in '88, you have a lot of Hall of Famers on that team. They're only able to win it once, so he's just you don't get many opportunities at it, so when you do, you just got to really make the most of it.
Welcome back inside the CAA Center, where right now the Whitby Warriors and the Victoria Shamrocks are tied at 6. But tomorrow we have more games on tsn.ca. The Miners and these very own Shamrocks going at 5 o'clock. And in the nightcap, it is the rematch of the Ontario Finals, the 2-0 Toronto Beaches taking on the Whitby Warriors, who are looking to stay a perfect 2-0. And speaking about those Whitby Warriors, anytime you think, 74 goals, a dominant season, he has to be up for the MVP. I'm talking about Rock Haley. No. In fact, it was Adam Potry. Yes, he scored over 100 points himself. But talking to Sean Williams in the Ontario Finals, he said, this guy does everything. I can pluck him into any point of the lineup. He can play last minute D. He can play on the PK, power play, 5-on-5, loose ball team. You name it, he can do it. He actually even said if Potra played transition, he would be one of, if not the best transition player in the game. He is special, a great player, and no doubt he is going to have to come out big here in the third period. But speaking of that third period that's coming up, we got to look at what happened in the second. Matt, Johnny, take it away.
Well, Patrick Dodds is what's happened in the second. Thank you very much, Pat Gregoire, the NLL's reigning Tom Borelli Award winner. I'm Matthew Carrick alongside Jonathan Donville, the reigning MVP of this tournament. And what a period it was, ending 6-6. As you see the goal there from the outside, a big run there, and hat-trick night now for Dodds, but a pair in transition for Darlison. As you said.
Oh no, Patty can't get on the floor here.
Yeah.
Go, Patty, go.
There's the goal from Dodds that put everybody
good hustle, Patty.
in a tizzy. Oh boy, look out. Don't make eye contact with Willie there, Pat. Running through the Whitby bench, and we are underway as Pat Gregoire holding up the show. And another few bucks in the jar for him, but look out. He only held up the Whitby Warriors for a few seconds as they get right back to work and take the lead.
Second goal here that Potras has scored off the faceoff. I said when he scored his first one, he really scores in all situations. I'm not sure if he started on the defensive side. He might have even started on the defensive side of this faceoff, but he is just looking to go. And just a blown coverage there by Victoria. Obviously the last guy on the team who you want to leave wide open. And they just kind of gifted Potras 2 goals here off the faceoff. Just too easy.
Yeah, he's lining up back on the defensive side of the ball again. There he is. You can see him with DeChico beside him and Little John. And the win from Jack Oldman and Pat Gregoire. What do you like about this Whitby face-off group?
To be quite honest, it's Jack Oldman. He's able to win it in every situation, especially with Pepper being out. He is now just dictating where he wants to win that ball. But there's so many deadly players like the man who just shot that ball right there that once they get in transition, they're deadly.
Those sticks that you hear next to Pat are the ones on his right-hand side of the Victoria Shamrocks, appreciating another great defensive effort. Little John getting it back up to Haley, though, as Whitby still controls the ball halfway through their shot clock. Little John, the screen in front of him from Pfeiffer, who rolls off of it, and nicely defended there again for Denton McDonald, who then takes out his man Little John along the boards and gives Whitby a fresh 30, and they were deep in their clock.
Yeah, obviously a tough end of that play for McDonald, but he might have saved a goal, knocking down that pass between Little John and Pfeiffer.
Little John was wide open as he rolled off the back half of that pick and roll. Now far side, they try the two-man game. Again and again, it's well defended here by the Shamrocks. I don't know how this tournament's going to go for Victoria. Already down 0-1 and don't want to go down 0-2. We talked about that earlier in the game, excuse me. Don't want to go down 0-2 at any point in this tournament, but man, oh man, the defense of this Victoria team has been tremendous through 2 games. And again, a chance to hear from Kyle Pepper at the intermission, who is still very much part of this team as he's been talking to guys and still in the house despite a tournament-ending injury at the end of the third period, I believe it was last night. Here's DeChico. Far pass there for Wilson, low shot, and Wilson then got run over after the fact, and it's gonna be a penalty called, and perhaps the bigger story here is that Casey Wilson is down.
I think Scott Reed just got him high here. Finished his check into the kind of the head area of Wilson. Looks like Wilson's gonna stay on the floor, which is a good sign.
Charlotte Michaels came out, but Pat, what did you see from Scott Reed? Oh. Patty, go ahead.
Yeah, as you can see there, that one just getting too high there, but we're going to get to take a look at this pivotal power play for the Shamrocks. We'll send it back up to you guys.
DeChico cross crease, and oh my goodness, Martin. The right hand up against the crossbar to take that one away. Can't do it a second time though. DeChico will not be denied.
This goal is basically the gamble that Whitby's making on their penalty kill right now. They're giving up this lefty crease play. Unbelievable save by Martin. And then you'll see them get the loose ball. And they're giving up this basically the lefty crease guy just walking out and trying to finish on Martin. Sandberg tried a few times, hit a pipe, couldn't get it to go. DeChico managed to get one to go. They're not playing him. They're just letting him get there. And that's the gamble they're taking, and it shows you the respect they have for Wilson and Dodds, especially that they're basically taking out the top part of the floor entirely.
This is the play before it. DeChico cross crease, and you can see that's Manning there, and Martin does a great job to get across, but only a few seconds later.
Manning must be thinking, what does he have to do to get one to go here? So many good looks, because Rob there, obviously his team still comes away from the possession with a goal, but got to be frustrating for 7. Again, I just have a feeling when he gets one, the floodgates will open up, and he's going to be a big player for Victoria.
Ball sits in the crease here of Bland, and it's picked up, jogging down the far side. Katie Granberg lost it right at mid-floor, where Haley will pick up and look out from the logo. It's about the spot on his floor where he scored a number of those 74 regular season markers. How about 105 goals, regular season and playoffs combined through 26 games?
I mean, that's ridiculous. That's I would say video game numbers, but that's even better than that. That's just insane.
That's not even rookie mode. That's like in the store demo mode. Video game numbers.
What a call by you, Maddie. That's EB games, 2 o'clock in the afternoon while your mom's in the grocery store numbers.
Yeah, supposed to be in school, nobody cares. Here's Budway. Pfeiffer. He'll spin back off pressure. All the way up top. Was looking there for Darlison, who passes off this time, and crease violation for the Warriors as they went right in front of Adam Bland.
Really nice play there by Davis McCulley, 28. Pfeiffer had a good angle to the goal, just stuck with it, knocked the ball out, got him to go in the crease. Good looking play there from Budway and Pfeiffer, but nice defense by Victoria. Again, this 5-on-5, when Victoria gets the ball to 5-on-5, they've been very, very strong.
Low pass from Sandberg there, skipped away from Casey Wilson and up into the stands here. 7-7 tie. 5 minutes into the third period on the run. Here is Patras, and a reminder to join us tomorrow for 2 games, 5 and 8 p.m. Eastern time. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you turn your notifications on, you won't miss any of the action once we go live, or check us out on TSN Direct and tsn.ca. Here's DeChico. Look at the number of moves on the crease. He's going to score. How about that goal for number 4 from Trent DeChico?
I was going to say what a move here by DeChico, but really it's what a 2 moves here. Gets around the first guy, nice little face dodge, and he kind of does the same move twice in a row. See him take on the first guy. Yeah, and then just gets right underneath of Tapper, I believe. And a great finish here. Again, just so effective when you get to have the time. You get across the crease, opens up a lot of options. We saw Dodds reach it to the far side. DeChico there elects to go back to the short side. You see Martin trying to cover up both pipes with either of his legs. Gets really wide. That opens up a lot of space to score.
Pat Gregoire, what'd you like about that goal besides everything?
You say Trent DeChico, I say Trent DeCheat Code. That was absolutely disgusting. But I talked about this at the start of the game. The lefties just were simply not good enough against the Beaches. It was all driven from the righties. Boy, have they stepped up here tonight, as we're seeing a lot of opportunities come from those lefty shooters.
Yeah, what a great point. Big nights last night, as we said, from Dodds and Wilson. And again, when you put up the numbers like they did last night in game number 1, that opens so many eyes, and they really struggled in that third period and down the stretch, I thought, for the Shamrocks in that game, which they couldn't find any traction, allowing Toronto to get back into it, and now they're down 0-1. I mean, if you get offense from both sides of the floor, it's going to be an issue. Or you can just go straight down the center. That kind of works too, as Patrick Dodds displays, and it's a run forming here for Victoria.
Yeah, love it by Dodds here. The guy's got silky mitts, obviously, but just his ability to finish the ball tonight has been impressive. I love it, just not looking to pass here. He's coming right around and firing it. I mentioned it, a bunch of times now. I thought that was going to be huge for him. And he's looking shot all the way here, and why wouldn't you when you shoot the ball like that and you're hot? I had someone on the weekend describe that shot to the bottom right as a 50-goal shot, because guys who hit it, score 50 goals. I thought that was kind of a cool way of looking at it, and Dodds just picks that bottom right corner. So hard to get to that corner as a goaltender.
Well spotted, well set. Here's Little John working across. Soroketti into the corner for Patras. All the big boys out there now, including Budway. Soroketti trying to feed Patras there. Bounces across here for Bland. Look out, big hit. Ball still in the stick of the fallen Shamrocks defender, though. Gotta push it, and they can't.
Hey, come get him your
Shout out to Holding Garland, by the way, for the 50-goal shot. He might be listening to this and will be upset if I don't credit him.
7 minutes gone here in the third. Delayed penalty coming. Martin will go to the bench.
Look for Haley to be aggressive in these situations here. Sorry, Matty.
No, all good. He passed it there for Pfeiffer. Knox was tangled up, and then Dempers comes up with the moving screen for the stoppage. Atkinson is down, and we'll get the penalty call. This will be Lum going to the box for the second time tonight for a high stick.
Diamond looking here again for Victoria as the chess match continues. Look for Little John and Soroketti to be big here, obviously.
Pfeiffer looking to the right side first. Through Haley and Little John, now to the far side. Patras can spot him with the red-headed stick. Bounces off the boards for Haley, now Pfeiffer. Big head fake from Soroketti. Haley low shot, goes just wide. May have hit a stick on its way through. And no will be the answer as it goes for an over and back.
Yeah, Victoria doing a better job than in the first period of getting down the back side of the diamond. So in the back, the defender on the back line doesn't have to do everything himself. You got to sag in on the back side, try to take away those cross-crease passes. You're obviously going to give some of them up, but doing a better job of moving as defenders as a unit and trying to take away as many cross-crease passes as they can.
Here's DeChico, look out, lane to the net, cut off. Thereby, I believe that's Peyton Wallace. DeChico's now going to try a spin move, and Wallace gets some help this time. Wallace joined by Darlison. Ball, I think, is popped free. And DeChico, they're going to call a handball there against DeChico. I was wondering if it was going to go against White on the interference as they kept driving. I thought that ball had popped free, but under a minute left for this power play to work as Whitby gets back going. Pfeiffer and Haley playing catch, down for Patras. He'll pass up for Pfeiffer, long shot there with wide open space, pulled out from Whitby. And this is one of the new rules where you can drag it out of the crease and shoot. Victoria fans don't like it.
Yeah, obviously Victoria not happy with the call here, but a heads-up play. Didn't catch who finished it off. I think it's going to be Sorchetti. And he's been sharp tonight for Whitby, making the most of his opportunities. Tough bounce for Bland, who's been outstanding in this game, makes a nice save. One gets away.
And this is a rule that was changed here in the OJLL as of last year, where you can pull it out of the crease as long as it comes out and take the shot. And that mirrors the NLL rule.
And if you're Victoria, similar to what we saw earlier in the Beaches game, you know, you probably don't agree with that call, whether it's a right call or wrong call. You just got to make sure the bench doesn't get too, you don't get too, rattled about the call, and you just keep playing hard.
Look out here, Whitby forward. And fans are not going to appreciate this one either, as Little John was in the crease. We did double check this rule as well after the game with RIC Shane Hubbard, and if Little John was hit, this is definitely good. But we are tied at 9 here with 9 minutes gone in the third.
Yeah, copy and paste what I just said. If you're Victoria, they're not going to change it at this point, so you got to just find a way to play through it. Good effort by Little John.
And the roll there, Shane Hubbard said if there's an attempt to get out, perhaps the roll through may be enough in the minds of the officials. No video review here, by the way. Pat, I don't know if you saw anything different either on the replay or down there, but Pat Gregoire, your thoughts. Let's bring you in here.
We're going to get a great look here. So obviously he's hit into the crease. I know you could make an argument that his momentum was going to be taken there. Now the question is, was there an attempt before the ball goes in to him get out of the crease? I think that's where Victoria has the issue or the problem with it, but based off what we heard from the RIC for this tournament, I think that's going to be a good goal. Or obviously it's going to be a good goal, but I think that was in fact the right call.
Well, you can see on the replay, I mean, he is rolling through, and just, I don't know that there's time to get it through, and it's turned into momentum the other way. There for Patras.
Crazy here, crazy minute here. I think we're all trying to catch our breath. Patras just doesn't take a play off, just keeps playing through the possession. 3 goals, none of them in 5-on-5. Actually, 3 of them now coming off of the face-off situation. Again, just too passive there for Victoria. If you're Cameron Lum there, you got to get out and play the ball. As tough as that feels, getting out and playing it on Patras, you got to do it, take away that shot.
3 goals in a span of 30 seconds. Off a few of them that I'm sure folks back on the West Coast not too happy with, but based on the rules that have been explained to us, not entirely sure that there's much to argue there. Here's Patras, Sorchetti. Sorchetti will cut back. He's going to go to the crease, and he goes low on Bland. Ball loose, and he does fall backwards on it before it can cross the line again.
Big save there for Bland after an incredibly frustrating minute or so for the goaltender, who's been very, very good tonight. Big save to settle his team down a little bit, let them play some offense.
Loose ball bouncing all the way back near center floor. Hollowell there to get it back. And this is the first trip down the floor to the right-hand side in quite some time, at least about 2 minutes here. And Dodd's trying to go back to her with a bouncer. Quickly picked up by Wilson. It's going to roll through the crease as we hit the halfway mark here of the third period.
Boy, it's a game of inches, but we'll get a nice look at this. A great angle. Wilson didn't miss this one by much at all.
Pfeiffer will send it here to, that's Oldman who turns, Jack Budway rather. Popping out the top now after that shot. Budway to the far side. Big pick there as this, again, quote-unquote second unit on the floor. Parker Pfeiffer. Looked like that shot hit off the foot of Tristan Dempers. Hobbled him a little bit, but then runs off. Dylan Johannes. Ball tipped away from him off a Whitby stick, so no over and back. Johannes running away from Kobe Hanser. Out of the corner, shot there from Wilson and down, and on top of it again is Martin. Couple chances here for the Shamrocks to get a couple goals back, but big saves from Martin after standing there and kind of watching this explosion of 3 goals in 30 seconds for the Warriors. Haley in front and a man all over the top of the intended shooter there, Littlejohn, who may be hobbling off. Again, he has played a lot of sports. He's been going basically 12 months straight at the junior athletics level. Look out the play here from Haley. Puts Bland full splits as that was end to end for the Whitby offense.
Yeah, Whitby sensing some momentum here is going essentially back to their full court press. A little bit unconventional, especially given how they're now leading this game. But I think sensing that they're really starting to impose their will here, that you saw that they're forcing turnovers. Their guys are coming right out the defensive gate, and they're not going back. They're going forward. They're going to the midline trying to force turnovers.
Pfeiffer shoots. Rebound over the shoulder from Patras. Ends up for grabs far side. Soroketti there. Quickly to Budway. He'll put it back in the corner. Pfeiffer late in the shot clock. Pfeiffer trying, and a crease call.
Boy, it didn't count, and I think it's the right call not to count, but what an effort from Pfeiffer, man.
Not sure that we're going to see the feet here. Yeah, the feet definitely in the cylinder. Again, that crease dive, that's probably a good goal in the NLL depending on where he took off, but once the feet cross the cylinder is the rule we're using here at the Minto Cup. Is the low shot from Wilson. 66 and 77. Connection nearly working again. Let's send it down to Pat Gregoire as Whitby sets up on offense.
I think one of the things that's kind of going under as a sneaky storyline here for the Warriors is the fact that we're finally seeing some consistent, solid goaltending, as that was one of the glaring broadcaster jinx stays undefeated. I'm going to go take a seat.
Griffin Hall is going to give you a high five on the way by there, Patty.
Yeah, we're excited to announce we're looking for a third guy for our broadcast team. I think Patty is going to sit this one out. Uncharacteristic turnover here for Whitby, and then just a great play. I think Griffin Hall is the goal scorer here, getting up the floor and just shooting it like he knows it's going in. Not an easy shot at all. Hammers it high to low. Pretty disciplined shot and a big goal to tie this game.
With only 7 minutes left in regulation time. A 10-10 score. There's a look at Kyle Pepper again. Heard his story at the intermission and saw him unfortunately leave the floor yesterday here supporting his team, and was supporting them, giving out free face-off lessons in the shoot-around earlier today. So Unfortunate for him and his family. I know he had family in attendance last night. As a huge collision right near center floor as the Warriors get it back. The pass down here for Littlejohn. He couldn't bring it down. How about DeChico coming back on defense to grab a Lucy?
Again, that Whitby ride just forcing so many turnovers here from Victoria. Are struggling to get the ball up the floor.
DeChico had to hurry. This is all on Whitby's 8 count, but now that'll be stopped as Dodds picks it up. And Denton McDonald putting in extra work as Dodds gets chopped down and the arm goes high as him and Reed collided, and Scott Reed doesn't believe it, and neither does the bench of the Whitby Warriors. Power play upcoming here for the Shamrocks. Extra attacker is on. Going through the middle is Johannes as the extra man. Pass intended for Wilson. Bounces away from everybody. Haley and Hollowell, couple chops at each other, but we will get the penalty call as Dodds got hit low and high from Kobe Hanser.
Yeah, Whitby fans probably aren't going to love this call, but just a play that Patrick Dodds created through his effort on the play. Him, McDonald forcing the turnover. I said earlier in the broadcast, Maddie, that I thought the pace today was a little bit slower than yesterday. That has completely gone out the window here in these last 10 minutes. Not that guys are necessarily saving it, but you definitely can find a little bit more here in the third period. And this has been as crazy as a tempo as we've seen in this tournament.
What a game. What a 4 games we've had to the first 2 days. If you're anywhere in the area, you need to get here tomorrow for moving day at the Minto Cup. Long shot there, going low from Sandberg. Wright will kick it out to the far side. TheMintoCup.com is where you can buy your tickets as DeChico passes to the far side. That one off. Manning FanFest coming up on Thursday as well, prior to the semifinal game. DeChico runs in.
Back to the box here now for Whitby, getting away from that diamond.
Long shot, DeChico just wide of the net, and Wilson, no time for him to turn and fire. The 30-second clock will beat him to that, and we've hit the final 5 minutes here of regulation. Michael White gets past the first one. Stops before the second, and it's Neary. Now staring down White, trying to kill off the last 54 seconds of that penalty to Kobe Hanser. White still with it now. Switching spots to put Ado Solomon in front. And White late in the shot clock just lifted one towards Bland to get the penalty killing unit back out there.
Nice job by White there. Headed to Queens Charlotte, one of 8 players in this tournament, I believe, playing for that school. Former or current coach there, former NLL player.
Here's Dodds, 6 of them from the Edmonton Miners team, which we did talk to, I believe it's Bennett Smith, their captain, about that, and he kind of downplayed the fact that a lot of guys play with and against each other throughout the years, so the fact whether you go to school with each other or not is kind of a non-factor. Penalty expires, much to the delight of the Whitby crowd in attendance here at the CAA Center, watching Soraketti's blast go off the pad of Bland and out of play.
Yeah, funny you say that too, Matty. One thing you'll notice looking at both of these rosters for these teams, a lot of hometown guys on both rosters. Obviously, that's typical of a Minto Cup team, but for example, Beaches would have a lot more out-of-town guys, whereas these Victoria and Whitby teams, if you look at the rosters, a lot of Whitby, Oshawa, and then Victoria.
Haley on the run. From Whitby, Ontario himself will give the Warriors yet another lead.
Same story here for Haley, using his shot and his shot fake to set himself up, and just does a great job of getting to the goal, getting it across the front of the net. Yeah, just this a nice toe drag move, just burns his guy. And again, if you beat your defender underneath, there's nobody to help. We've seen that. We've seen Victoria succeed on that. And then a nice move by Haley getting underneath McDonald, a very talented defender. And knowing that he has time to get across the goal presents you with all sorts of options.
And the Whitby Warriors, as Pat said earlier on, feeling good over on that bench. I believe occupying the visitors' bench, the former hockey home bench, but really no home and away here at the neutral site. They look off Little John, go to Pfeiffer instead. That didn't miss by much. May have caught Bland leaning the wrong way. Riley Knox, Little John. Pfeiffer wants it on the crease. Pass goes there, but Pfeiffer a nifty little pickup along with Solomon right on his back. Little John has it again. High pass with a couple players coming off the bench. 2.5 minutes left to go here in overtime. Excuse me, third period. Getting ahead of myself. Had so many overtime games, just assumed. Here's Pfeiffer and Little John. Bland going with every move of Pfeiffer, who landed in the crease after the fact. So the ball will go back the way of the BC champions. Penalty coming up here. The lead official has his arm high, and Bland.
Not sure what the call was there. Seems like a too many men call, just because I didn't really see any other action going on.
Well, this will be interesting here because now the clock has gone under 2 minutes. And if it is, no, they've picked up a slashing call. So, of course, under 2 minutes, if you can't serve the too many men, that's a penalty shot. So,
right.
Minute 55 to go. This will be a slashing call. And Darlison doesn't like the call. Stock's going down, Patty.
Sorry.
All good. I had to get the joke in. Don't worry.
Yeah, the Whitby bench certainly does not agree with the call, and just maybe the timing of the call under 2 minutes, the way that both these teams have been hacking and whacking. A friend of the broadcast, Mitch Wild, definitely starting to get a little bit spicy by the bench here. But Donnie, you mentioned it, man. Like, this intensity has picked up as the game has gotten deeper and deeper. But these are two teams that are completely at different ends of the spectrum. Whitby hasn't been here in a very long time. Not a lot of these guys have been at this tournament. None of them actually have. But on the flip side, Victoria, just a couple of years ago, they've been here. So we'll see if down the stretch that plays a factor.
Well, I'll start with our featured player for tomorrow, Patrick Dodds, captain of this Shamrocks team. He'll talk about just that very fact. DeChico. Now to Wilson, to DeChico again. And it's been quite some time since the trophy has been on the island as well. A fact that's not lost on these players. Peyton Wallace, what a spin move there, but the recovery might have been even better for Mitchell Sandberg. Trying to go over the top of Wallace here.
Yeah, if you're Sandberg here, you just want to be sure not to do too much. You're going to get your chances here again. The last thing you want to do is take a penalty or something like that. Just let Whitby kill the rest of this and then go back on offense.
And they still have a timeout in the bag, as Wallace will lose it as the shot clock expires. Cameron Lum picks up, and I believe that will indeed be the timeout call there for Terry Dennett and his squad.
So obviously one of the big storylines we've been talking about here is the penalty kill. Are they going to go box or diamond? And one of the advantages of it is Victoria has to basically draw up two plays here because they don't know what's coming. They have to drop essentially a diamond play and a box play, or think of something that's going to work for both. Just adds another layer of confusion into a timeout. You only get 60 seconds. Are you going to go with a play you run all the time, a money play? You're going to draw something up that Victoria or that Whitby hasn't seen yet. Tough decisions, and then just add in two different defensive looks on top of it just makes it a little more complicated.
Here's a look at Haley. This is the marker right now that is standing. 11-10 is your score. Whitby Warriors trying to match the Toronto Beaches, who went 2-0 earlier today. Shamrocks trying to avoid going 0-2, which the Miners did today, which would set up Some very interesting matchups tomorrow. It is not a 6-on-4 set, but it is Dodds starting it down in the corner for Wilson. Dodds now takes the corner spot as the ball comes back for Sandberg. Wide open to Chico here on the crease. He passes, quick stick shot for Dodds. He'll get the rebound as well after the Martin save. DeChico got dumped on the crease here. Sandberg giving it back to DeChico. Number of moves, and the shot goes wide. Whitby there to bring it down with 40 seconds left to go. Got a clear center, however, and they do, but Dodds is there to, didn't pick it up cleanly, so the shot clock's still ticking down here on Whitby. Ball carrier fell in along the boards, and it was Wallace, and they stopped the clock with 28.4 to discuss and give us another chance to check out this DeChico opportunity.
Yeah, it's completely the right idea by DeChico. Again, they're just not playing the lefty crease guy here. You got to take the, call the bluff again and get to the middle. Right idea by DeChico, just couldn't get to go.
Lefty crease man now is DeChico. He wants to switch spots with Sandberg. Up top is Dodds. That's where Manning puts the ball now. Dodds shoots and it's kicked out by Martin. Off the dasher, it bounces away from Wilson. Manning in there as well. They're mucking it here in the last 10 seconds, and it will be picked up by the Whitby Warriors. Their fans are cheering, and it's going to turn into a breakaway and just pushed into empty space here for Michael White, and it is still an undefeated Ontario Minto Cup as the Whitby Warriors also go to 2-0. It is 2-0 for the Whitby Warriors as we will stay on air and we will wait for the players of the game. 11-10 your final score. Again, coming up tomorrow, this is going to set up two very, very exciting matchups with two teams that are 0-2. The winner will go to the semifinals. The losers tournament is done at 5 p.m. Eastern time between the Miners and the Shamrocks. And at 8 o'clock Eastern, the winner goes to the final series. Loser will play in the semifinal between the Warriors and the Toronto Beach as a rematch of the Ontario Finals. Again, coming up at 8 p.m. Gabriel Soroketti named as the player of the game with a pair of goals here for the Whitby Warriors. DeChico had 5 points, by the way, for Victoria, 4 goals and an assist. And he is going to be the player of the game with a shorthanded marker and a power play goal as well. Presented with the Player of the Game awards. Here, DeChico and Soroketti. And once again, a huge day coming up tomorrow. It starts at 5 p.m. Eastern time. The Miners, who are 0-2, facing the Victoria Shamrocks, who are 0-2 on moving day. And I mean, it's desperation time for both of those two teams. Desperately need a win.
Desperately need a win, but if you're Victoria, I think the message is we're still okay. Our path is still ahead of us. You still control your destiny, at least for now. Victoria and Edmonton know that it's win and you're in, and it's just simple as that, right? And then the nightcap tomorrow should be a great one too, fighting for that crucial extra day off in this tournament.
Our man between the benches downstairs was Pat Gregoire. On behalf of him and my partner Jonathan Donville, our director for today, Alex Frazo, and producer Gary Morrison, the rest of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League and the Minto Cup Committee. I'm Matthew Carrick. This has been the Minto Cup on the OJLL YouTube channel and TSN Direct. We hope you can join us again tomorrow. But for now, good night from Brampton, Ontario.